and back to what he considers his most important work, continuing the research through meetings with exploited children in the Philippines. For once, there were no speaking engagements, and the press didn't even know of his extended visit.
You know, I'm always amazed with a lot of reporters who ask me, okay, you know, how many world leaders have you met? Or how many people have you met that have over $1 billion worth of assets? I don't know. Nor do I really care, actually. No matter what, I prefer meeting with children. Here's the way I think.
Craig has come to learn more about children who are forced to work selling their bodies in order to survive. Father Shea Cullen is an Irish priest who runs a center in Olongapo called Preda, which helps girls rescued from the sex trade.
The reason why I love meeting with the children so much is because what they stand for and how amazing they truly are. You know, just look at the girls at Preda, how they've been able to overcome their problems.
The Philippines has become a center of child sex tourism. And many, many foreigners do come here to seek out minors and to sexually abuse them. The poverty makes the children vulnerable. They know that the police are very lax. They know the prosecution can be bribed if they are caught. And they do things here that would never do in their own countries. The majority of children who we find coming from the commercial sex industry or even in child labor situations, 95% are coming from the rural area. There is no land reform, the people don't own their land, they cannot produce enough food even to feed themselves anymore. They have a landlord who takes away maybe 30–40% of what they produce. They're impoverished and they're hungry, they can't go to school, so they have some relative in the slums in Manila and they go to the slums. And from the slums they're on the streets and the pimps are there to pick them up.
Father Shea conducts undercover operations himself to rescue children. He poses as a pedophile and uses a hidden camera to collect evidence for the police who work alongside him. He asked Craig to come along and see for himself.
To see the evil world, and we're just trying to come to grips with it. And hopefully, in the end, win out. I regret having to do it, and I'm quite disgusted when I hear what these people are doing, offering me children for sale, being sold like vegetables in the market, trying to bargain the best price they can get to sell these children as sex workers.
It was quite a bit of a surprise, actually, when Father Shea mentioned that I would be able to participate in a raid firsthand.
Yeah. So, what's your name?
He disguises himself as a pedophile and negotiates over the price of a child. I think Father Shea is a pretty amazing person.
And you also go to school, or?
I'll never forget talking to those two girls about their life and what forced them into the sex trade, and just waiting for the police to rush in. I never was really scared because all I had to do was simply go into the McDonald's if anything got out of hand.
Just wait there a minute.
The person who really had to worry was Father Shea.
Good to see you.
Because he was sitting amongst the pimps and negotiating the price of two girls. All they had to do was simply draw a gun, where he would be at their mercy.
How old are these kids?
No, they were young, you know, they were not really working girls. You see them, their beauty is really natural. No, nothing regarding makeup.
Hey, how much are we going to spend on this?
It's only 5,000.
Huh? For the whole thing?
Oh, yeah.
If all goes according to plan, the police will be standing off in their vehicle. When we've more or less reached a deal, then the children will leave to go into one of the vehicles. Okay, let's do it. Is it two for each?
No, we will give full amount of money.
When the children are safe, then we will give the signal. It's a done deal. And then the police simply move in. They're on, they're arresting them now. Quick, quick, go, go, go.
Ito, kanila to sa kasunod.
I managed to make it to the van with the girls. They were very frightened.
Parang sila pa yung nagsarap, ako yung nagpakahirap, sila yung nagpakaligaya. Kasi hindi naman nila alam kung anong mangyayari sa akin pag sumama ako dun sa kanila. Wala na pa silang pakialam dun kahit patayin ganun ko. Tapos nakuha na nila yung pera nila. Kaya ngayon, inuubo ko, tsaka papi ko para ako magkakalagnat. Tamlay ko, sabi ko, kailangan ko ng pera, gusto ko magpahinga, hindi ko magawa kahit may nararamdaman ako. Dahil kailangan ko ng pera. Pag hindi ako kumita, yung gamit ko nun, tsaka yung tutulugan ko, mawawala. Ako talaga, hindi kasi ako naman, wala akong kasama, ako lang mag-isa. Bali, stowaway ako sa amin. Bali, rape victim ako ng stepfather ko. Oo naman, syempre, sino ba naman? Dahil nag-aaral ako, taas-taas ka na pangarap ko, gusto ko makapagtapos. Kasi nung nag-aaral ako ng Montessori, hindi ako nagbabayad ng tuition fee kasi nag-scholar ako doon.
Ang galing na naman tayo eh.
Yung delikado pa, unang-una sa lahat.
Ako si Father Shay, no? Ha? At lagi na habol na kami talaga yung mga bugaw. Ha? Isipin mo mabuti ang mga payo dito ng sabi ng mga para may sana kinubukasan nyo. You know, those pimps, they just couldn't care. This guy was telling me, Father, I'm sorry, it all happened, you know. He says, I've got 6 children. You know, I said to him yesterday, I said, you know, would it be okay for you if somebody got one of your kids?
Your child, exactly.
Exactly, yeah. And he says, oh, no, I wouldn't. Would you do it to these other kids? So he had no answer to that.
Well, it's great that he's confessed, though, because at least you can take that and definitely get a conviction.
Well, yeah, I think these guys deserve to go to jail and have to get them out of circulation.
No question. No
You know?
question at all.
So could you explain what's on these 2 boards?
Back at the center, Father Shay asked Marlene Capio, who had been taken by foreigners to Germany and forced to work there as a sex slave, to show Craig Prada's wall of shame.
And this also is from British.
From Britain? Okay.
Yes. And this is the 2 children, the victim of that man. And this one is.
I think Marlene is an example of how strong some of these children really are. You know, imagine this as a girl who ended up being forced into prostitution on the streets at an early age, who ended up being a prisoner in Germany, forced to take customers. And through all this, she still has the strength to testify against her accused in court. She still has the strength to rebuild her life. She still has the strength to now hope for the future. A few seconds later, Marlene was on the floor crying. It seemed so strange how all of a sudden this came to be, this shift.
And the memories of the past come back. It's like they're having a terrible wound and that the poison is still inside the wound. It has to be lanced. You know, the septic poison is coming out of the wound. And it's only then healing takes place.
I understand it's all part of the rehabilitation process. It's all part of a therapy process. But, you know, as I sat there, it was very saddening that to see, you know, they've come so far. You know, even some of the children, they've been there a year, 2, 3 years even, and still, they still break down, and they're still like that, they're still crying. you know, for myself, it was very sobering, and it was also very painful to watch. And it's something which certainly will stay with me for a long time.
What's your name? Panda.
Going to the garbage dump, what we saw, there were children who were spending their entire life rummaging through literally mountains of trash and searching through the scrap metal and the garbage and the medical waste and the food, and they're searching, you know, for their livelihood. It always does affect you. In some cases, it affects you in different ways. Some cases, it angers you. It makes you want to go to the top of a roof and shout.
And that's with everybody here working?
In some cases, it just makes you want to break down. Because you can become as angry as you want to be. You can become as frustrated as you want to be. And you can cry until you can't cry any longer. But you know what? That won't change the situation. And how much does he make at the end of the day when he's sold everything that he's arranged? How much do you make, Jeffrey?
Jeffrey.
They do not want to be seen as the little creatures who need help. They don't want more pity. You took time out of their life, and you have to give them something in return. The only gift which you can give them in return is taking action in your own way, and going back to Canada, in my case, going back and bringing it back to free the children and challenging all the members to work harder, or whether it be taking action in a different way.
Have you ever been off the garbage dump? Have you ever left the area, the compound?
Nakalabas ka na ba raw dito sa sa basurahan na to? Nakalabas ka na? Nakalis ka na rito? Nakapasyal ka na sa ibang lugar? Ha? Not yet.
Not yet? Does he ever hope to leave this compound?
Gusto mo ba minsan maalis ka rito? Maiba yung buhay mo? No.
You know, I traveled in many countries around the world. I've had the opportunity to meet with hundreds of children who work on the streets, or who work in the brick kilns, or who work in the sugarcane fields, or who work in the garbage dumps. And, you know, no matter how much I try, no matter how many hours I spend with them, and no matter how many times I go back to the homes, or ask them about their life, or ask them about their family, I never really will understand their reality. But I can at least try. There is a big need out there. And you know, we're not only talking about help with money or more projects, because a lot of these children, you know, no matter how much they search, you know, they'll be able to find their food, the minimum amount to be able to survive. But what they cannot find through all their searching there, through all their scavenging, is they can't find love in a lot of cases.